Today we're at Buckrup Archery Limited in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. We're at our Badges and Bullseyes outing where we have teenagers and younger kids anywhere from age 6 to 17 to come in and enjoy archery with us to get them to start doing something besides getting in trouble out on the street or at home. Good job, right?
Good shooting, DJ.
Oh, you got the turkey though. I came up with the idea of an archery program 2 years ago. We already had a Cops and Bobbers program where we fished during the summer. We're looking for another activity during the winter. And I had always grown up doing archery since I was 4 or 5 years old. And it was a good way that I could spend time with my family and friends. And once you purchase the initial equipment, the rest of it is fairly inexpensive. So once you get going, it's real easy. Anybody can do it. We've had kids in wheelchairs do it, kids with special needs of all different types to do it. Archery is something that everybody can get involved with, no matter how young you are or how old you are. Okay, you should always have the bows and arrows facing down range, okay, or down towards the targets, and that way nobody's going to get hurt. Okay, all the arrows do have rubber tips on them that you guys are going to be using today. Okay, some of the bows are going to be too heavy for you to pull back. What we'll do is we'll adjust them, okay? We can adjust them so they're easy for you to pull back and you guys can have a fun time shooting today. Okay, we're gonna shoot for almost an hour, okay? So it's a lot of pulling back.
A lot of our kids overlap in some of the programs, but we do have a lot of new ones with the archery. It's a different way to go. Some kids don't like fishing, maybe they don't bowl. But here with the archery, they seem to really be into it a lot because they're constantly going, they're shooting, they're downrange, they're picking up their arrows. They have the bow, they're not waiting for anything, they're not waiting for a fish to bite. It's active the whole time. Sometimes after an hour, they're willing to sit down and take a break because it's constant. We like that, but there's rules, and we like the kids to have some structure and rules.
All right, we're all done. Down on the right, no shooting. Walk. Hey, walk.
We see a transformation because some of the kids are just kids from the community, but some are targeted through our court system. If a parent comes in and says, hey, I'm having problems, I'm at my wit's end, I don't know which way to go, we will put them in a mentoring program where they're assigned an officer. They may be assigned to myself, Officer Prouty, or somebody else in the police department. With that, there's guidelines. They have to come to these programs. That's part of it. We'll hold a citation open, a charge or whatever it is, but they have to come into the mentoring program for a year. During that, they get to work one-on-one with us, and we just see sometimes a great turnaround because sometimes they're not real fond of the police because we're the ones that got them in the predicament they think in the first place and they don't own up to their responsibilities. But once they sit down and say, hey, these guys are all right, and we look and say, this really isn't a bad kid, let's see if we can turn them around. And some of them we've had now for 3 years, and you can just see the transformation, and it's a great feeling.
What's happening is the kids are staying out of trouble. Instead of hanging around in the parks after school, we're seeing that they'll come to the archery range. They'll come to the archery range instead of sitting at home playing PlayStation, Nintendo, something like that, or just watching TV. They're getting out and doing something constructive and staying out of trouble.
Now you guys look at the equipment that these guys are using compared to what you have. This is what you could get into. Look at that, no misses so far. Pretty cool, huh?
We probably shoot for about an hour and a half, and it's a progressive type thing. Some of the kids that show up have done archery before. A lot of them have never even seen a bow or an archery range. So we break that down. We have volunteers that come. We use high school kids from Pewaukee High School. We have volunteers that are also sponsors. Some of them corporate sponsors send people to help us.
My name's Christine Casper, and I work for Enser Corporation. We're one of the companies in Pewaukee. Officer Bob found us because a friend of mine at work, he and I are passionate about shooting, and we shoot out in our back parking lot at lunchtime. So he came in and said, hey, we're going to put together this program with kids, and he's so enthusiastic. You just can't help but be infected by it and get involved. So we've been able to help them financially, as well as then we donate our time and come out here and help the kids.
See the balloons? Count. Whoever gets the most balloons is first in the pizza line. We're going to have the high school kids help you.
It looks hard, but it's really easy. And the kids can come out having never picked up a bow before. They can pick it up, and after a few shots, they're hitting things. And it's easy to kind of melt them into the position and say, okay, a little higher, and then they'll shoot it, and they hit an animal, and they are just ecstatic. They think it's the greatest thing in the world. And it's a fun hobby that then they can bring home and their whole family can do it.
All right, hold it. You gotta aim it right for the middle. And there you go.
Watch, because I do more likely to take it.
Oh! So close.
We count it?
4.
Because of Kaz, you guys get to come in here, and really what he does for us here is just awesome with you guys shooting everything. So your bows and all that stuff's all included.
We love you, Cass.
Officer Bob, on behalf of the Safari Club International Southeast Wisconsin Bow Hunting Chapter, we're presenting you guys a check for $500 for this great program you're running. I hope the kids have all had fun. I know they have. And it's a terrific job you guys are doing here.
Well, thank you, Kaz.
We try and give, with our sponsorship money, kids each year will have 1 or 2 bows that are awarded to us for whatever reason. But the last year and a half, we tried to target kids that we have really shown the interest. One of our kids that come now every day is our first winner of a bow, DJ. He was one of those kids where his mom would tell me, he's such a leader, but I'm a little worried it's going to be one way or the other. Now he hangs out with us all the time, and he just stands out as, you just see it. He's very good at what he does, and we actually use him as a leader to the other kids. So when kids are misbehaving sometimes, I don't have to say anything. He jumps in and tells them, hey, this is, you have to behave when you're at the archery range.
I've been in the program for about a year and a half, so I've gotten pretty good with the ball. It gives me a chance to work out with littler kids than me, and I can teach them something that, since I can't walk into their classroom and teach them stuff about this, so when they come here, I can teach them stuff about bow hunting and stuff like that. It's kind of an education that you can't get in school, so it makes it fun.
There's one girl in particular this year that started archery, and she wanted to be able to do something more specific with her father. That it was just one-on-one time with him. We picked her out because she wanted not necessarily to hunt. She did say that that might be a goal in the future, but right now just to give her something to do with her father.
So I was really surprised. I couldn't stop saying thank you.
I've been shooting with DJ and Sam now for almost 2 years, and it's just wonderful to see them growing up and saying, hey, you know, I got an A in class, and this is really great. And I think the kids really have learned the respect of the police department, and they understand that authority doesn't mean they're bad guys. These are people trying to help them do better in life, and I see these kids doing better. We get through to them, we make friends with the kids. It's very positive.
And we're trying to get the kids to be able to see us, that if they see a police officer, it's not a bad thing. We want them to be able to wave to us and stop, you know, and talk to us on a one-on-one basis.
All right, Jacob, what are you shooting at? Okay. All right, just a little high.
I like getting involved in anything that does with the kids because honestly, sometimes dealing with adults, you cannot change their way of thinking. It's just impossible. We work with, like the city of Milwaukee, it's great to have some ethnic diversity in the suburbs and things like that. Kids are kids. They don't judge. They just come out and have a good time. And when you see that, it's easier on my day and the other officers to see something positive. You go home not thinking the negative stuff all the time. You're dealing with something that actually, why most of us got into law enforcement for the first place, to try and make a difference.